What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is Daniel, and welcome back to another video. I just got done watching today's race at Pocono, the Pocono Organics 325, and I have to say that this race was not the best race I've ever seen. It was not the worst race I've seen in 2020. Nothing's going to top the Coco 600, but the race today was not that spectacular, to be quite honest with you. Let's just go ahead and discuss the key moments of the race, and then we'll kind of talk about overall, in general, what happened in this race. So there were a few on-track incidents that did take place in this race. You had the first caution race that would come out between Quinn Half. He got a little bit sideways, trying to avoid hitting J.J. Yaley. He got sideways. He went on into the inside wall. And then there were a few other big incidents that happened in this race. There was a crash coming in the end of stage 2 between Tyler Reddick and Eric Jones. It looked to me like Kurt Busch just kind of couldn't turn, and Eric Jones had to check up, and he kind of came down onto Tyler Reddick. Eric Jones' day, unfortunately, would come to an end, but Tyler Reddick would continue, though his car would have a lot of damage, and he would finish a couple laps down in this race. And then this race in general, like how it played out throughout this race, would be a strategy-based race. You had guys playing crazy strategies, just how Pocono has been this year and in the past. And it wasn't as crazy of a race as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little more crazier on the strategy, to be honest with you. But it wasn't as crazy as I thought it was going to be. This race would be dominated mainly by Aric Almirola. Aric Almirola had one of the best performances I have ever seen a driver have at this racetrack, and the best performance in a long time for Aric Almirola since probably that 2018 race at New Hampshire, where he probably should have won, and he did not win. Aric Almirola put on a clinic, but unfortunately, he would end up losing the race to Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick would decide to take 2 tires. Aric Almirola would take 4 tires at the end of this race, and this would unfortunately cost Aric Almirola a shot at winning, because Aric Almirola had not pitted since lap 44 in the race. Kevin Harvick pitted on lap 66 to get fresh tires. So he had to use a lot less tires in the race. So he had 2 tires and he could take 4. So Kevin Harvick ended up opening up a pretty big lead. This race, like I said, would actually, instead of being Aric Almirola versus Kevin Harvick, this race would come down to Denny Hamlin versus Kevin Harvick. Denny Hamlin had been charging up. He decided to pit a little bit later in the strategy, so he had fresh tires. He took 2 tires in this race. So when the cycle went out, he was about 4 seconds behind Kevin Harvick. Then he just ran Harvick down. Of course, traffic would be a key factor in this race, because clean air is a big key factor. And when you have traffic in front of you, you do not have clean air. So Kevin Harvick basically had to hold off for hard-charging Denny Hamlin. This would come down to a pretty decent-sized finish, in my opinion. In the final few laps, Hamlin was within about half a second of catching Kevin Harvick. But at the end of the day, Kevin Harvick held off Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick was able to score finally his first win at Pocono and his 52nd career win. In my honest opinion, I think Kevin Harvick is the favorite to win the championship at this moment right now. I think he's been really strong this year, and I think he continues to dominate. Notable things to note, Hendrick Motorsports today performed really bad. I mean, the 988 teams were actually performing pretty well in this race, but unfortunately, those guys just had issues. I think Chase Elliott had transmission problems, and then I think he had an uncontrolled tire in this race, if I'm not mistaken, and he never could bounce back. Hendrick Motorsports had the worst performance of their career, and Alex Bowman had a tire go down with 10 laps to go, which was a great shame because he was up front most of the day. And then within the final 10 laps of this race, as vibrations kept coming up, Joey Logano actually ended up cutting down a tire. He would actually end up finishing 36, despite probably having the second or third best car in this race overall. He went on to finish 36, which is a great shame because Joey Logano overall had a fantastic day despite not winning. And Penske had a pretty decent day, but the finishes didn't really show for it. So let's go through the results and talk about some of the top finishers. Kevin Harvick won. Denny Hamlin finished his second, almost beat Harvick to get a 6th Pocono win. But one of my picks to win, but hey, great run for Denny Hamlin. Aric Almirola, one of the best career performances that he's ever had up to this point. He gets a 3rd place finish. Great run for Aric Almirola. How about Christopher Bell scoring a 4th place finish? I mean, that's really impressive that Christopher Bell got his 4th place finish. And Great job for Christopher Bell. And Kyle Busch finishes 5th. Kyle's got to perform better Sunday. Maybe he'll do better. Maybe he'll score that win on Sunday and hopefully he gets a good finish because Kyle Busch still winless up to this point in 2020. Mark Truex Jr. finished 6th. He had probably the 3rd or 4th best car throughout this race, but Mark Truex Jr. just never really, he had a vibration and the car just kind of fell off at the end, and he got passed by Almirola, Bell, and Kyle Busch. He was up to 3rd before he got passed back to 6th. Clint Bowyer gets a 7th place run. Solid run for Clint Bowyer. Michael McDowell, let me just say, what a great run for that team. Front row has definitely had a much better year this year. John Nemechek, I think, has definitely been carrying the banner for that team. But Michael McDowell, man, he was up front, never fell outside of top 20 all throughout this race, and great job by him, and strategy played in his factor. He gets an 8th place finish. Great job by Michael McDowell. Brad Keselowski finishes 9th, and Chris Buescher finished 10th today. Matt Kenseth, a good run for Matt Kenseth. He comes home with an 11th place finish. He needed a run like this. He struggled since coming back to the 42 team. Hopefully he can build on some momentum, and maybe we'll see Matt Kenseth get a strong runs here in the near future. Ryan Blaney finishes 12th. I don't know what happened to Blaney. I mean, I think they tried to play a strategy, and it really never worked out for them. 12th place, not a great run for Blaney. He's been really strong despite winning last race. Kind of knew coming this weekend he wasn't going to be as strong despite, he did win this race in 2017, but I expected a little bit more from him, to be honest with you. Matt Benedetto, 13th. He deserved a better finish than that. He deserved a top 5 run, in my opinion. He was in the top 10 most of the afternoon, but unfortunately at the end of the race, he never really could drive up there. He gets a 13th place finish, though. I believe he's still in the playoffs. He's kind of getting close to that cutoff line now, which is a great shame. Hopefully he can kind of turn it around here in the near future. William Byron finishes the highest for the Hendrick Motorsports cars, 14th. Not a great run for William Byron, and Ryan Newman finishes 15th in this race. 16th place goes to Cole Custer. Not a bad run for him. Stenhouse finishes 17th. 18th, Kurt Busch. 19th, Austin Dillon. And Ryan Preece finishes 20th. He will actually start on the pole tomorrow with Austin Dillon on the front row. Since he finishes 20th, they do have the inverted fields. He will start on the pole tomorrow. 21st place goes to Jimmy Johnson. Again, not a great day for Jimmy Johnson. He's had an overall really good year for his final year. Not a great day for the Hendrick organization in general. 22nd, Bubba Wallace. 23rd, Corey LaJoie. 24th, John Nemechek. 25th place goes to Chase Elliott, who had his transmission problems. He was probably top 3 or top 4 most of the day. Just never had a shot to win it. Ty Dillon, 26th. Alex Bowman, 27th. Daniel Suarez, 28th. 29th, Brennan Poole. And 30th place goes to Tyler Reddick. 31st, J.J. Yeley. 32nd, Josh Bilicki. 33rd, Garrett Smithley. 34th, James Davidson, who somehow did not crash the car, which is surprising. 35th, Timmy Hill. 36th, Joey Logano. 37th, Joey Gates. 30th, Eric Jones. 39th, B.J. McLeod. And 40th place goes to Quinn Houff. So those are your unofficial results from this race. And now let's just get and dive a little bit more and talk about this race. Like I said, coming into this race, I did not expect there to be much that was going to happen. I thought there was going to be a lot of this crazy strategy. I thought we were going to see a lot of comers and goers in this race, and I thought the PJ1 group was going to help. I will say, though, that this race was not the best race I've seen at Pocono. It wasn't, honestly, just overall a great race. Probably one of the top 2 or 3 worst races of the year. But, I mean, it wasn't a really, really bad race. I think, like I said, there was good strategy. You had, honestly, a decent-sized finish between Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. And overall, I thought today's race wasn't great. I kind of knew coming into one of these Pocono races was not going to be good. Usually there's one Pocono race that's all right, and the other one isn't as great. And unfortunately, this one was the bad one. So hopefully, the second one is going to be a much better one. And since I think the biggest reason is the fact that guys could not really push it today since they had to save their cars for tomorrow. I'm wondering if Eric Jones, I believe Eric Jones is going to have to start in the back. I bet Tyler Reddick is going to start in the back as well because those guys have damage on their car. So they'll probably get those cars fixed. And hopefully the race is better tomorrow. Like I said, I expected just a little bit more from this race. I thought it was going to be better than this race was today. I mean, it wasn't, like I said, a terrible, terrible race. So overall for this race, I am going to give this race a 6 out of 10. I just wanted a little bit more racing. Clean Air was still dominant in this race. Tire fall off wasn't a thing. That's got to be something that has to be addressed with this car in the near future. I knew today's race. I knew Pocono. My expectations are not very high for these Pocono races because the racing in general, over the last couple years especially, has been not that great. And I mean, this is definitely not the worst Pocono race. The one last summer was God. Oh my God, last Pocono race was the worst one I've ever seen. This one definitely is up there for possibly one of the worst. I don't know. But it wasn't the worst Pocono race I've ever seen. But it is one of the worst races of the year, and hopefully tomorrow's race at Pocono is going to be better, especially since we've got a triple header tomorrow. We have the Truck Series race, the Xfinity Series race, and the Cup race all on the same day. God, it's going to be a long day for me, and I think a lot of you as well. So get up early in the morning, 9:30 Eastern for the Truck Series race. I think it's 12:30 Eastern for the Xfinity Series race, and 4:30 for the Cup Series. Yeah, it's going to be a long, long day. So, anyway, that is going to be my review for the Pocono Organics 325, the first race of the Pocono doubleheader. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching tonight's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on all my social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment below your thoughts on today's video. What did you think of today's race? Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.